The Pitchsider. Pitchside for every game.
Hello and welcome back to the NFL Podcast. This week we bring you a week 3 review of what's happened in the NFL after we've had the third round of fixtures. So hope you are all ready hope you've all had a fantastic week. Hello to our new listeners. Hope you are enjoying the podcast so far. Please give us a like and follow us. But let's get into it. So let's start this week with the scores as normal. So we start with the Steelers versus the Raiders. The Steelers won this 23-18. The Chiefs beat the Bears 41-10. The Cowboys get their first loss of the season against Cardinals, which ended 28-16. The Seahawks beat the Panthers 37-27. The Bills beat the Commanders 37-3. The Patriots beat the Jets 15-10. The Chargers beat the Vikings 28-24. The Dolphins beat the Broncos 70-20 for the Dolphins to go 3-0. The Texans beat the Jaguars 37-17. The Green Bay Packers beat the Saints 18-17. The Lions beat the Falcons 20-6. The Browns beat the Titans 27-3. The Ravens lost to the Colts 22-19. The 49ers beat the Giants 13-12. And that leaves us with 2 games to play. As of recording this, the Bengals and the Rams, and the Buccaneers and the Eagles. So obviously the biggest game that stands out there is the Dolphins versus the Broncos. Obviously they massively destroyed the Broncos, the Dolphins, but we'll get onto this in a bit. Let's have a look at the current standings. So in the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins top their group, followed by the Bulls, Patriots and the Jets in the bottom. The AFC North, the Steelers are top with the Ravens, Cleveland Browns and the Bengals at the bottom. The AFC South is led by the Colts with the Texans and Jaguars, and then followed by the Titans. The AFC West is led by the Chiefs with the Raiders, the Chargers and the Broncos at the bottom. In the National Football Conference, so the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles lead their group, followed by the Cowboys, Commanders and the Giants. In the NFC North, the Packers lead followed by the Lions, Vikings and Bears. In the South, the Buccaneers lead their group, followed by the Falcons, the Saints and the Panthers. And finally in the NFC West, the 49ers lead their group with 3-0. And the Seattle Seahawks are second with the Rams, followed by the Cardinals. So obviously getting into the season further now, only a handful of teams haven't lost. This is the 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. And the only team to lose all 3 games so far is the Broncos and the Vikings and the Bears. So most teams have got 1 win and 2 losses, or 2 losses and 1 win. So this does make it even. Let's get on with some of the takeaways and what we've learned from this week. So this week the Dolphins keep cooking with their 3rd win. So the Dolphins scored 70 points, the most in NFL history since 1966. They piled up 726 yards, the most since 1951, and they did so against the Broncos defense that allowed the 7 fewest yards in the football last season. So this is very good from the Dolphins. They look like a team that could be going all the way into the playoffs this season. It looks like the Bears are still sort of a mess. Justin Fields wants to play a bit more less robotic, but unfortunately the coach wants his team to turn a hectic week into a defining moment, and the Bears wanted to quiet the chaos that's been flagging them for that long, but unfortunately they had no luck this week with a loss to the Chiefs 41-10. Chicago is the worst team in football currently, and with the Arizona's 26-18 upset of the Dallas, it's not particularly close. And after a year earning the first pick in the draft and traded to the Carolina, the Bears might be having the inside track on the top choice again. This time they might have it and take a quarterback. Dating back to last season, Chicago lost 13 in a row. Sunday's defeat was its third of 30 or more points since 2021. Looks like the Jets are still sticking with Zach Wilson, but for how long? It's getting harder to see Zach Wilson being the answer to New York this season. The question is, how long will the Jets keep trying to convince themselves that he is? Because it isn't working, and the third-year quarterback hasn't shown enough for the three games to convince anyone that he's going to get a chance. This probably will lead to the Jets looking at more experienced quarterbacks, which they can either trade for. It was rumoured that they've been talking to Tom Brady, but unfortunately he wants to stay retired. Since the Jets are only 1-2, and Wilson isn't the primary reason the team lost in Dallas last week, the evidence is mounting. Wilson has thrown just 2 touchdowns in the 3 games, and only came because Wilson made a spectacular grab on a bad ball. We got a surprise leader in the AFC South, the stormy soap opera that stole headlines in Indianapolis Colts. Through training, the bitter back and forth between the team and their star running back Joshua Taylor overshadowed the challenge facing Shane Steichen, the first-year coach who was hired to restart the franchise starting from a bad 2020. 3 games in, and the Colts are in a spot non-predicted top of the AFC South with back-to-back wins. Indianapolis is 2-1 and a game ahead of anyone else in the division. The Jaguars, Texans and Titans are all 1-2, which is the most surprising. It's done it minus Taylor, who at least is out for next week's games, largely without pick in the draft. The Cleveland Browns defense, the Browns are allowing fewer than 11 points a game this season. On Sunday, they dominated the Titans 27-3, with the Tennessee's mustering just 6 first downs and 94 yards. No 3 games in if you don't omit nil downs at the end of the half. The defense has limited options to just 1 touchdown on 34 drives. Jordan Love and the Packers faced a 17-0 14 quarter hole. Love helped the Packers storm back to a stunt over the Saints 18-17. Not bad for your first start, especially when you consider they key pieces the Packers were playing without. Running back Aaron Jones, left tackle David Bahakina, and wipeout Christian Watson, among others. The questionable decision of the Chargers coach, Stanley, made the bizarre call in the Los Angeles win against the Vikings, leading 24-28 with 1:50 left, facing a 4th and 1 from his own 24. Stanley elected to go for it. It was an aggressive move, even in this analytical age. The handover went nowhere, and the Vikings took over on the downs, already 4 yards from the red zone. Stanley and the Chargers avoided disaster now, despite running 8 plays and advancing down the Los Angeles 6-yard line, and Minnesota just could not convert. The remaining unbeatens, currently the Dolphins, 49ers, Eagles and Buccaneers. The Eagles and the Buccaneers host each other in Philadelphia on Monday night. These teams, and the teams still out without a win, is the Bears, the Broncos, the Vikings, the Panthers and the Bengals. The Cincinnati host the Rams on Monday night. So it's been an interesting week. Obviously, the game to go and watch and stand out is the Miami Dolphins. Definitely worth watching the highlights of this if you have time. Been a good week. A few surprises here and there. Dolphins were definitely not a team that I would have picked to be doing well, but they're one of the best teams in the league so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how far they can continue unbeaten, and with the other teams as well, especially the 49ers as well. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've still got a long way to go in the season, hopefully teams will have success, and there'll be a few more surprises along the season. So that's it for this week. Hope you have enjoyed. Short and sweet. We'll be back next week with a review of week 4. We have the start of the London games. So if you are in London, we are going to the game this weekend between the Jaguars and the Falcons. So if you see us there, please say hello. Hope you have a fantastic week. And thank you for listening. And we will see you soon. Thanks.